We're coming on the air tonight with breaking news in Los Angeles. Federal officers say they opened fire on an undocumented immigrant during an ICE traffic stop, injuring him and a deputy U.S. Marshal. The new video out of L.A., a man seen on the ground being treated by firefighters at the scene. Someone nearby also seen on a gurney minutes after the incident. Authorities say federal agents were conducting a targeted stop when the person they've identified as an undocumented immigrant rammed them with his car. The agents opening fire, hitting him in the elbow. That deputy U.S. Marshal also struck protesters gathering outside a nearby hospital now. DHS confirming both individuals are receiving medical treatment. On the other side of the country in New York City today, a show of force. Dozens of federal agents converging on Lower Manhattan and conducting arrests. It comes amid escalating ICE operations across the country. In Chicago last week, this chase captured on surveillance footage after Homeland Security said an undocumented immigrant rammed a Border Patrol vehicle. That same day, federal agents also deployed tear gas in the Windy City after police claimed protesters turned violent, with some people throwing objects at agents. But we begin in Los Angeles, where we're getting new details about the shooting there. Let's get right to NBC's Morgan Chesky, who is live in L.A. with the very latest. Morgan, what more are we learning about this incident?
Yeah, well, Ellison, apparently, according to federal authorities, this all began from what, as you mentioned, was an attempt by federal authorities to take this individual into custody in L.A.'s downtown area, an area known as the Fashion District. And they said that they used what they called normal procedures, normal methods to essentially corral this individual's vehicle. And it was at that point that federal authorities say the individual inside the car began trying to ram past federal authorities' vehicles, and that was essentially the catalyst, according to federal authorities, for them to fire those defensive shots in return. And it was from one of those defensive shots, according to authorities, that resulted in the hand of a deputy U.S. Marshal being struck, as well as the individual inside that vehicle being struck in the elbow as well. Both expected to survive this situation. And just within the last few minutes, Ellison, a council member on L.A. City Council believes to have identified the individual that authorities were trying to take into custody, saying that he is Richard Law, calling him an important citizen journalist. There's a photo that just went up in a post minutes ago saying that he's been reporting on the immigration operation in District 9, calling him a pillar of the community, a fearless citizen whose authentic storytelling has consistently uplifted the unheard voices of South Central Los Angeles, saying that his unfiltered portrayal of real life has fostered a loyal following both on TikTok and throughout our city. The man that the council member identifies as Richard Law is recovering in a hospital. Important to note here, Ellison, that federal authorities say that they were trying to take him into custody after he had already been able to escape custody prior. We're hoping to get new details on that front. I also want to share with you a statement from DHS saying that essentially, the blame lies here partly on the rhetoric, saying that these are the consequences of conduct and rhetoric by sanctuary politicians and activists who urge illegal aliens to resist arrest. Resisting arrest puts the safety of illegal aliens, law enforcement, and the public at risk. That coming from a spokesman with the DHS, sharing that with our own Julia Ainsley earlier today. Yeah. Ellison.
Morgan Chesky, a lot of developing details there that we will continue to follow. But while we do have you, I want to ask you about the context of the broader things happening around this, right? As we mentioned, this is the latest in a series of aggressive clashes between civilians and ICE officers. Could you tell us more about what we've been seeing?
Yeah, the tension certainly does feel to be growing as these ICE operations grow nationwide, Ellison. And one of the more recent incidents happened in Chicago. We have some video from what took place a little over a week ago. And it was in Chicago where two individuals were charged after allegedly ramming a Border Patrol vehicle prior to a shooting that took place there. It was in Chicago, Ellison, that authorities used a maneuver where they tried to pin that vehicle in place that ended up in shots being fired. And then another incident unfolded in Maryland. This happened in the middle of the day where, as you can see, two officers were taking an individual to the ground, trying to place him in custody. When that officer lying on the ground there, you can see him holding that what looks like a handgun, and he's trying to secure it in his belt. But if we keep watching here, he loses control of that handgun briefly, causing a very frightening situation there as they took that individual into custody as well. Allison.
NBC's Morgan Chesky with that breaking news out of Los Angeles tonight. Thank you. We appreciate it.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.